okay na. Worst is ghost project. Kasi nga, pwede niya ipakita, tapos na, pero 2 years ago pala natapos na. So, moving forward, we will strictly implement yung station number, the details, starting this coming 2026 budget. And I'll show you something na dumating lang kagabi, no. Hindi piecemeal yung pagpapakita ko ito sa iyo. But we had to do some quality assurance last night. Kinumpare rin namin yung budget for 2024, 2023, 2024. At may nakita rin kaming mga repeated projects as early as 2023. No? I'll show you a slide. Ito, slide 12. Carla. Kagabi ito dumating kasi yung mga OJT namin sa Pamantasan Luzon ng Valenzuela took time kasi we have to go back to projects as early as 2023. So pag titignan natin in 2025, 2026, yan yung 946 projects. 2024, 2026, 309. 2023 to 2026, 778. Meron rin kami nakitang projects na 3 years nag-appear. 2023, 2024, 2026. 2024, 2025, 2026. Meron rin kami nakitang project na 4 na times nag-appear. No? 23, 24, 25, 26. No? 17 projects. So a total of 1,465 projects to a tune of 26 billion.
Roles by the PNP in 2003, sir. That's the only time that I applied, Your Honor.
Origin immigrant status.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Secretary, kaya ko lang po tinatanong to, hindi po kasi malinaw ano po yung nangyari kay Yusek kasi PHAU parang meron siyang negative impression na floating status, parang may nakagawa siya ng kasalanan. Kasi noong September 11, 2025, kayo po ay nag-file ng criminal complaints doon sa 20 opisyalis ng DPWH, DEO, First District ng Bulacan. Tama po. At noong September 19, 2025, sa order po ng ating then acting Ombudsman Dante Vargas, 16 of them were placed under suspension. Ano po ang status ngayon ng mga yun?
Mr. Chairman, yung pong 16 na yon, suspendido pa din, but we have already initiated dismissal proceedings dun po sa 16. Yung po kasing 4, na-dismiss na po yon. Si Alcantara, si 20 po kasi yung opisyalis na yon, no? Na nakasuhan sa unang kasong final natin before the Ombudsman for the First District of Bulacan. Yung pong 4, si Alcantara, Hernandez, Mendoza, Duya, ay 2 Mendoza, Alcantara and Hernandez ay na-dismiss na po. Yung pong 16 ay suspended pero ongoing na po ang kanilang dismissal proceedings under civil service rules.
Kaya ko po tinanong yun, Mr. Chair. Noon po kasing September 17, 2025, the acting Ombudsman Dante Vargas issued an office order na ang nangyari po, lahat po ng criminal or administrative complaints that were filed within 10 days prior to that order, meaning to say, magsisimula ng September 7 to 16, mawawala yung docket number. Ang epekto po noon, dalawa po ang epekto. Halimbawa po yung September 15, 2025, wala pong connection ng DPWH dito. Kaya ko lang nabanggit yung September 15, 2025 complaint. Ito po ikasali doon sa 10 days na inalisan po ng docket number prior to September 17. So, ang epekto po ng September 15, 2025, ito po yung pinail ni Acting Mayor Baste Duterte. So dahil naalisan po ng docket number yung final niya, dahil na-cover po ng office order, yung pong ombudsman natin nakaligtas. Dahil ang immediate effect po ng pagkakaalis ng docket number, these cases will now be under evaluation. Sa Makatwid, hindi sa active case. Kaya po si Ombudsman ay nakakuha ng clearance at nakalusot po yung aking kaibigan, Crispin Remulla, as now the Ombudsman. Kaya po binabanggit, yung pong inyong pinail ay covered po eh. September 11 po kasi sa Makatwid, kung naalis din po ng docket number yon, nalagay sila ngayon sa evaluation process. So sa Makatwid, kung makikita ninyo, walang basis yung preventive suspension. Because they became cases under evaluation. Napansin po nyo, Secretary? While it benefited the Ombudsman, the applicant Ombudsman at the time, hindi po nagkabisa yung suspension ninyo. Because both of these cases were covered under the order issued by Dante Vargas. So may nagsasabi nga, Mr. Chair, kapag ikaw ay nanalangin para umulan, kinakailangan ay pagtiyagaan mo yung putik na idudulot nito. So, nasaan po ngayon yung suspension?
Opo. So hindi pa, right now po, ang immediate po kasi naming naging action, pagka-file namin ng kaso, ay ito nga po, no? Nag-show cause order kami sa lahat to initiate administrative proceedings against the 16 na hindi pa dismissed. Nagpa-show cause order na kami agad-agad sa kanila para masimulan na po yung administrative case against them, no? And in the process of that, when we received the suspension order from the Ombudsman, sinuspend na ho namin at
Which is
nag-appoint.
ineffective. Yun ang sinasabi ko
Opo. Pero right now po, hindi naman po ginif. So right now, they are all suspended. No? At ongoing na po yung administrative process against them. So for all intents po sa amin, at least sa administrative case, tuloy-tuloy lang po kami, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Secretary, nakikita ko po kasi dito, meron kang USEC for Regional Operations. Merong isa ring USEC for Regional Operations. Parang si USEC Bisnar yata, Luzon. O ika naman, no ka rin ka USEC. Pasensya na po kayo, Kapampangan kasi kaya. Visayas, Mindanao. Pero, Mr. Secretary, yung DPWH Undersecretary for Luzon has responsibilities that include, among others, overall supervision and control over operations of all regional offices in Luzon, control over all DPWH funded infrastructure projects, including those funded by other agencies and implemented by the DPWH in his area of assignment. Tama po?
Tama po, Mr. Chairman.
So, napakalaking responsibilidad po ito. Pinagtiyagaan ko pong ipagtanong ang pinanggalingan po ni Yusek Bisnar. Medyo nakakabahala po. Pasensya na po. Noon pong August 15, 1998, Yusek Bisnar, hanggang October 4, 2000, or 2 years and 1 month, kayo po ay nasa PHAU Headquarters Support Service, HSS. Ang ibig pala sabihin ng PHAU, ito po yung Personnel Holding and Accounting Unit na nakakabahala po ang kalagayan sapagkat ito po pala ay mga police personnel assigned to PHAU for various reasons, including secondment to other agencies, those on study leave, or those under floating status, such as personnel with pending criminal investigation, etc., etc. And then in January 16, 2002 to November 7 to 2002, ganun din po, PHAU HSS. Ganun din po sa November 8, 2002 to 2003, 4 months ito. Ang pinaka medyo maduguri ito, Secretary, PHAU HSS, March 4, 2003 to March 15, 2012, or a period of 9 years. Ano po ang, bakit po kayo naka-float ng ganito katagal pong panahon? More than from 1998 to 2012, it's more than 11 years. Were you in floating status, sir?
Mr. Chair, with the permission of the
Go
Secretary.
ahead, Yusek.
From 1998 to 2001, Mr. Chair, I was detailed to the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Task Force.
What is that, sir?
The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Task Force.
Yun
Mr.
yung
Chair.
PAOK-TF.
Yes, sir.
That's 2001 to
1998 to 2001 or 2002, Mr. Chair.
1998. Pero nagkaroon po kayo ng you obtained your bachelor's degree, Philippine Military Academy, 1986-1990 po.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Meron kayong Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, University of the Philippines, Los Baños, 1986 to 1985 to 86.
I attended the
Did you finish
the
this?
program.
Apparently, parang hindi nyo naman nakumpleto. Tama?
It's only for 1 year,
1 year.
Mr. Chair.
And then, meron kayong associate degree in nursing in Houston Community College System in the United States.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Did you complete this?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And then, meron kayong Master in Management, Philippine Christian University, 2014. Nakompleto nyo ito.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Did you complete it?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I'm not sure of the exact-
Masteral degree, you completed it in 1 year?
It's a master's program offered by the PCU, Mr. Chair.
So it's not a degree, it's a program. Nakasulat po kasi sa ninyong background ay masteral degree.
It's a degree, Mr. Chair, offered by PCU.
How can you complete a masteral degree in 1 year?
It's in tandem with the officer senior executive course that they offered. There are a lot of us who graduated from that program, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Secretary, kasi yung concern lang naman dito, palagi siyang nasa PHAU, HSS. Parang hindi naman ibig sabihin ay walang makikita talaga ano ba yung nangyari within let's say 11 to 12 years na palagi siyang nasa PHAU. Meron pang PHAU Directorate for Personnel and Records Management. So this is clerical. This is something clerical. Ngayon po ay without belittling the capacity, hindi ko po siya kilala. I'm only basing on kasi po noong 2003 kayo po ay nung makuha po niyo yung associate degree in nursing in Houston Community College, nakakuha po ba kayo ng student visa? Yung F1 visa?
No, Mr. Chair.
Naging immigrant kayo?
Mr. Chair, just to clarify, by 2003, I was dropped from roles by the PNP. And prior to that, I applied for study leave and emergency leave.
Did
to
you
the
apply
US.
for citizenship or did you become immigrant?
I did not apply for citizenship.
Pero naging
Mr. Chair.
immigrant kayo?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
But citizenship is a requirement for PNP members under Republic Act 6975. You know that, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
So kung wala po kayong F1 visa, paano kayo nakapag-aral sa Houston University Community College?
When I was already dropped from roles by the PNP in 2003, sir, that's the only time that I applied, Your Honor.
Or immigrant status?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Secretary, kaya ko lang po tinatanong to, hindi po kasi malinaw ano po yung nangyari kay Yusek kasi PHAU parang meron siyang negative impression na floating status, parang may nakagawa siya ng kasalanan. Dito po kasi doon po nung 2003, Yusek, meron po kasing report na you were dropped from the rolls and then it was instead modified to 30-day suspension. Sabi niyo, you were dropped from the rolls.
It was eventually modified, Your Honor.
What is this hurling profanities at CIDG officers in April 2022? Meron po kasing report na ganito.
May I be clarified, Your Honor?
According to the limited information available online, then Police Major General Bisnar parked his vehicle in the CIDG National Capital Region Field Unit compound and confronted the guard on duty, claiming the compound gate encroached on the pedestrian lane. Mga ganon. Do you recall that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have been reported to have berated a police officer assigned at the CIDG for wearing a bracelet at that time.
Yes, Your Honor.
In October 2024, a complaint for grave abuse of discretion and unjust vexation against Bisnar were filed before the Quezon City Prosecutor Office by one Marites Cabilian, a non-uniformed personnel assigned to the PNP Directorate for Controllership.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Secretary, this is a very important position. As I said, I do not know him. I just relied on some of the facts which he admitted today. This is a huge responsibility. It's not only overall supervision, but he will be placed in control over operations of all regions in Luzon, alam naman po natin dito ang pinag-uusapan natin sa Blue Ribbon Committee na talaga takot-takot na anomalya po yung ano. I am just a little bit wary na I do not judge your discretion in hiring personnel, Mr. Secretary, but just the same, you may or may not know about all these details. I will probably provide you with this. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, if I may
you.
just make
Yes, go
a
ahead, Secretary Dizon.
quick manifestation. First of all po, no, I've worked with Undersecretary Bisnar, former General Bisnar, for several months already. No? Former General Bisnar was recommended to me when I was appointed to be DOTR Secretary in February. And since then, we have worked together very closely. No? As he was head of the Office of Transportation Security, our OTS, and together we were able to really work hand in hand to virtually eliminate the problems of Laglagbala and other problems facing our airports. No? And from what I know of him, no, he's a man of integrity. He's a man of even anyone who I talk to in the Philippine National Police, no, speaks very, very highly of General Bisnar, and this is why I invited him to join me in this very, very difficult task of cleaning up the DPWH. But nonetheless, any report such as this, of course, is very important to me personally. And just for the information po of the committee and of Senator Marcoleta, I asked the NBI as well as the private sector groups to help me independently vet all the undersecretaries and assistant secretaries that I have personally brought into the DPWH, and that process of independent vetting is also ongoing. That's why the input of Senator Marcoleta is very welcome, because this is something that I do not take lightly. This is very important that we surround ourselves with the right people. As far as I know, and having worked with General Bisnar, he's a man of integrity. He's an honest man and a very, very strict person, which I think is very, very important as we try to cleanse the DPWH from top to bottom. But we welcome any form of independent information from the Senate, from our senators, and of course from any of those private sector groups that we have asked to independently vet our recommended appointees. So thank you very much po, Mr. Chairman and Senator Marcoleta.
Just to go back to those red flags, kaya importante, Secretary, itong detalye, as granular as possible. Importante talagang na-identify natin yung station number, yung length, kasi paglabas ng JA, pag generic siya, talagang aabusuhin to. May temptation na abusuhin. Pwede nga yung sinabi ni Senator Erwin na ayos pa yung kalsada, bakin na. Worst is ghost project. Kasi nga, pwede niya ipakita, tapos na, pero 2 years ago pala natapos na. So, moving forward, we will strictly implement yung station number, the details, starting this coming 2026 budget. And I'll show you something na dumating lang kagabi, no? Hindi piecemeal yung pagpapakita ko ito sa iyo. But we had to do some quality assurance last night. Kinumpare rin namin yung budget for 2024, 2023, 2024. At may nakita rin kaming mga repeated projects as early as 2023. No? I'll show you a slide. Ito, slide 12, Carla. Kagabi ito dumating kasi yung mga OJT namin sa Pamantasan Luzon ng Valenzuela took time. Kasi we have to go back to projects as early as 2023. So pag titignan natin in 2025, 2026, yan yung 946 projects. 2024, 2026, 309. 2023 to 2026, 778. Meron rin kami nakitang projects na 3 years nag-appear. 2023, 2024, 2026. 2024, 2025, 2026. Meron rin kami nakitang project na 4 na times nag-appear. No, 23, 24, 25, 26, 17 projects. So a total of 1,465 projects to a tune of 26 billion. I'll give you an example, Secretary. No? For 2025, ito yung mga nakita namin, pinakita ko na rin to sa inyo, construction of Malolos Diversion Road, City of Malolos, Bulacan. Kikita natin 2 years, pareho yung title, iba lang yung amount. Next will be, tinignan namin yung 2024. Ito sa Bohol, construction of roads. Carmen, Bohol, in isa construction of road. Wala lang S. No? Carmen, Bohol. Marami ho yan. Ha? And then next will be 2023, construction of road, Barangay Kawayan, Katarman, Northern Samar. Construction of road, Barangay Kawayan, Katarman, Northern Samar. No? And then next, ito yung 2023, 2024, 2026. Divisoria Parallel Bridge ba yan? BR, Bridge? Along Cagayan Valley Road. So makikita natin, ito yung hindi ko maintindihan yung bridge. How can you construct a bridge 3 times? Diba? 2023, 2024, 2026. Yes, go ahead, Secretary.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, thank you again for this and thank you to your staff. No, this is very, very important. I guess my question to the staff that prepared it, are these part of the 946?
No, hindi kasama ito.
Okay, in that case, Mr. Chairman, if I may volunteer again, please give us the list and we will validate this again. No, if it's 1,400 plus, we will validate this again because I think, Mr. Chairman, this is really a problem. This is a recurring problem where, in most cases, I think these are continuation of projects that were not finished given the limited funding. Kunyari po yun, no? Itong Divisoria Parallel along Cagayan Valley Road. Yung una niyang funding, 8 million. I'm assuming mahabang kalye yan at 8 million lang ang binigay nung 2023.
But this is a bridge, Secretary.
Bridge ba?
Yan ang hindi ko maintindihan.
Bridge.
Ano yun?
Pero,
how do you...
pwede pong Mr. Chairman, kunyari, no? Pwedeng baka yung 8 million na yan, yung approach pa lang sa bridge. No? Tapos, yung 20 million, yan na yung first span, no, nung bridge. At yung susunod, ito na yung final span. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's why I think, number one, we need to validate. And the district offices, the regional offices, need to validate and justify this, similar to what they did with the 700 plus. No? Hindi po natin dapat pagampasin yan ng ganyan lang. No? Kailangan i-validate yan. Kung ma-validate, okay. Kung hindi ma-validate, wala tayong choice po. We have to, as Senator Marcoleta said last time, act on the side of caution and remove them. So, Mr. Chairman, I think moving forward with this budget, dapat talaga detalyado. Tama po si Senator Legarda. This is a communication problem because it is not the same project. It is a continuation of the same project. And that needs to be reflected in the line item, which clearly it is not.
Yep.
Mr. Chair.
Okay. Yes, Senator Irwin.
One quick question lang po kay Secretary Vince Dizon. Malaki pong tinapyas doon sa budget ninyo, lalo na po sa flood control. Pero my question is, well, I wasn't here during the first hearing. Ano po magiging impact nito sa infrastructure? So are we looking at wala na tayong totally flood control? May mga problema pa rin po tayo sa baha. So are we not going to deal with our floods in the future, next year? Hahayaan na lang nating bumaha ang buong Pilipinas? How will you handle this? Malaki-laki po ang tinapyas eh.
250 billion po.
255 billion po eh. So, paano ho ito, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chair?
A very, very important observation, Mr. Chairman, by Senator Tulfo. Una-una po, meron pong naiwan na 15.7 billion na flood control for foreign assisted projects. Ito po yung mga pundado ng mga ng mga tanyag na partners natin tulad ng ADB, ng World Bank, ng Japan. No, yan po talaga naman pong makakasiguro tayo na hindi mananakaw yung pondong yan at maayos po ang pagkagawa ng mga flood control projects na yan. Pero ang very important po is na sinabi po ng ating Pangulo, dahil po na siniwalat niya at nakita natin lahat na napakalaking pagnanakaw po dito sa mga locally funded flood control projects. Ang sabi po ng Pangulo sa akin at sinabi din niya po ito sa Kongreso na, teka, stop muna tayo. Pero hindi po ibig sabihin nun na wala po tayong gagawin. No? In the next few weeks po, meron tayong i-implement na malaking flood mitigation program together with other agencies of government and local government units. No? Ito po ay ang massive clearing ng ating mga waterways, hindi lamang sa Greater Metro Manila area, kasama na ang Bulacan, kundi sa lahat ng mga major cities po natin and flood-prone areas sa buong bansa. No,
yung na-discover yung Mr. Chair, Secretary, na flood control na binawas po ninyo, does this mean na hindi sila importante? I mean, does this mean na itong flood control na tinanggal ng Pangulo, it's not really important, ito ay gawa-gawa lang, kaya tinanggal at wala naman magiging epekto kung tanggalin ng Pangulo ngayon, alisin natin itong pondo 255 billion na naka-allocate for flood control. They're not really necessary. Is that what it is?
Unang-una po, no, I think ang naging desisyon ng Pangulo para maiwasan na ang muling pagnanakaw ng scale na ganito.
Mr. Secretary, my point is, so nakikita ho ninyo, ni-review ninyo ito, was this your recommendation to the palace? Sir, alisin natin ito kasi parang mukhang may kikita lang dito sa 255 billion. Was it your recommendation?
Opo, to be quite frank about it, yes. Kasi nga po, marami, if not halos lahat po siguro, ng mga iniimbestigahan natin from the past. No? Unang-una, hindi na plano ng tama. And I think I'm happy to see Undersecretary C.P. Davidier of the DNR. I think he can bear us out on that. No? Na marami sa mga flood control projects, halimbawa po itong mga revetment, no? Yung mga pagtatayo ng mga dike, no? Hindi lang ho sa hindi nakatulong, I think in some cases, nakasama pa. No, yun din po ang naririnig namin. Halimbawa, dito po sa mga reklamo ng ating LGUs tulad ni Mayor Joy Belmonte sa Quezon City na hindi lang sa walang epekto, walang magandang dinulot, nakasama pa, no, sa mga areas na dating hindi naman tinayuan nitong mga so-called flood control projects. So, tingin ko po, ang sabi po ng Pangulo, una, hintuin muna natin yung pagnanakaw kasi mukhang ginamit lang to para sa maanumalyang rason. At ikalawa, planuhin na natin ng mabuti. Kaya po ngayon, kami po nakikipag-usap na po ngayon sa DNR, sa UP, sa Project NOAA, sa iba't ibang mga tanyag na ahensya na dayuhan tulad ng ADB at World Bank at JICA para po maplano na nating mabuti. Kaya po sa susunod na taon, kapag obviously kailangan na nating mag-invest muli ng malakihang pondo para sa flood control, ito po ay yung tama ng flood control.
So what you're saying is, Mr. Chair, Secretary, yung flood control ng National Flood Control Program, hindi flood control ni congressman, hindi flood control ni politiko, kundi it's a National Flood Control Program wherein totoo. Wherein talagang it will resolve our flooding here in our country. Hindi yung resolba lang doon sa isang lugar at may kumita, pero this one is national in nature.
Tama po kayo. National at properly planned flood control mitigation program. Tama po kayo, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Just to thank you for the intervention, Senator Tulfo. Tuloy ko lang yung kanina, no, yung like in 2024, Secretary Dizon, may nakita kaming construction of multipurpose building, Barangay San Sebastian, Jones, Isabela. Ito most likely siguro iba-iba itong location, no? Kung hindi man, kagaya kanina napakita natin sa Muntinlupa, iba-ibang location to. Pero if you look at the title, parang isa lang siya. No? Kaya hindi rin fair doon sa LGU at sa congressman dahil baka ma-accuse siya na isang one and the same lang at paulit-ulit lang yung project. Pero may nakita rin kami, next slide, na 4 times nag-appear. 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026. Kagaya ho yan, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Lapasan, Cagayan de Oro City, Misamis Oriental. Ako, ang suspecho ko dito parang sa Muntinlupa ulit, baka iba-iba ho yan. But the thing is, dahil nga walang detalye, hindi natin alam. Yung mga road construction naman, malamang continuation to. No? Kagaya to construction road in Barangay Kawasan, Lugisan, Cebu. No? Dahil wala ngang station number, hindi natin alam kung ito ay continuation or bagong kalye or what. No? So, I think yung isa-submit nyo sa amin o nasubmit na may station number, malaking bagay yan. No? I think that will solve a lot of the problems dito, majority of the problems. Hindi ko sinasabi na mayroong pong ghost project dito, may katiwalain dito. Ang sinasabi ko lang, posibleng magbukas to ng korupsyon. No? Posibleng magbukas to ng ghost projects na ayaw natin mangyari. So, ibigay namin yung file sa inyo, Secretary. Isama nyo na rin to sa review nyo.
Yes po. Please, Senator, and again, we want to thank you for your efforts here. Kasi, clearly, this has been going on for a long time already. It probably predates 2023, most likely. No?
And
So,
this is beyond you, kasi bago pa ito
opo.
na na-appoint.
And ano po, para ho sa akin, ayusin na ho natin ang tama ngayon. And please, we will get the list. Again po, no, this is clearly not in the same list that was initially
Yes,
sent to us
no, it's not.
last week. So, we will include this in our submissions for Friday. And if hindi ho ma-justify, hindi ho mabigyan ng detalye, tatanggalin na lang po natin ito.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.